I just came out of Home Depot, bought some stuff. My change was $10.51. They rounded it down. The girl tried to give me $10.50. I asked where my penny was because that's my money. She said, we don't have pennies. We round it down. I said, nope, you either take this stuff back or you go get your manager. I want my money. Corporate's not keeping their customers' money. You want to round? You round up. Manager came over and she said, we don't have pennies, sir.
Bruh.
I was like, well, then you're going to give me a nickel. And she looked at me. I was like, nope, that's my money. You don't keep my money. That's stealing from me.
Oh, he's not playing. That boy said, that's my money. You heard that? That boy said, that's my money.
Mm-hmm.
That old head's not playing about his money, especially a penny.
So she said, give him the money. Give him a nickel. Don't argue with him. So I made him give me my nickel.
Give me my nickel.
Either give me a penny or you round up. There's hundreds of millions of pennies still out on the market. There's no excuse for this. They just stopped making them.
True.
People, don't let them keep your money. It's yours.
Nah, he made some point. They just stopped making it. It's a whole bunch of pennies everywhere. You can even check the floor. They're in the floor. Everybody throws them on the floor. Now they're important.
That'll be 177.
You have to change, please.
Bruh.
Oh, hell no. We got everybody here fighting for pennies, and you got this boy here paying with pennies.
Pennies no longer being produced will actually affect a lot of people. At first, I was just thinking about it in the terms of going to the store and not getting your exact change back, and so they have to round up, and therefore they're making more profit, but technically they're taking more money from the consumer. I thought that was like the issue, but then I realized this would just be like a chain reaction to them getting rid of currency. So like they would start with pennies, but then over time we would basically become a country that only uses digital currency. And therefore you would have to have a phone or some sort of electricity to be able to access your money. And then that made me think of people who don't have homes and live on the streets. And if cash is basically useless, then how would they get the money? And if they don't have electricity or a phone, how can they access that? And then on top of that...
Oh, man. I don't think Buddy knows about the bums and Brickle. Them boys got phones. Internet. They be all on Brickle, saying they listen to music with no problem. Trust me. They ain't got no homes, but they got a phone.
Now, if everyone is solely reliant on their money being able to be accessed through technology, then what happens if there's an issue with technology where it blacks out? What happens if there's an issue with the technology where there's some sort of spyware, malware, something, hack, and like all of it's digital and there's no cash, so there's no way to actually go about getting any other means of having that money? Like, I think it would just be a domino effect of things like that. Like, yeah, right now it's just a penny that they're taking away, but like that's going to basically cause companies to change the prices so they can make more money. And then over time, we will just become a digital currency country. And then when that happens, what happens to the people who don't have access to technology and electricity? If that's the only way you can access your money. Like, that's diabolical. It really is.
It made kind of sense, but I think we'll just adapt. You know, like when we went from regular phones to smartphones, there was a whole time that nobody was like going into smartphones. Nobody know how to use them. Not everybody and their mama got a smartphone. Even the babies, even the kids.
These pennies might be worth more than 1 cent. Most pennies made before 1982 are almost all copper. The metal inside them is worth more than the coin. Melting them is illegal, but people are hoarding them anyway. When coins stop being made, they disappear from circulation fast. Collectors don't chase pennies, they chase the last pennies. So next time you see one, do you spend it?
That means there's gonna be some money out there. And I start checking pennies now. I remember we had that fish bowl full of pennies. What happened to it?
I don't know.
We gotta check for them pennies. It's like a rare penny out there. Watch, you're gonna see a whole
Penny
bunch of them.
elimination. I'm sure you haven't seen anything about this because social media is not going to push this. The government is no longer going to be creating new pennies. What that means is if you go into a store and your purchase comes up to $10.01, they will round your bill up to $10.05. All purchases are going to be rounded up to the nearest nickel. And you may say, oh, that's only 4 cents. But you have to think about it. If you have 1 million people that go into a store and all of their purchases are increased by 4 cents to round it up for convenience sake, how much money are these corporations making? Does the money go to corporations, or is this money going to the reserve? Or does it go to somebody else's pocket that we don't know about? This is disgusting. The fact that nobody is talking about this, and going into the holiday season, some stores are no longer going to allow you to use cash at self-checkout. This is something that has been in place for a little while. In a lot of stores, you'll probably notice that they have been talking about pushing the agenda where self-checkout is for card only. And if you want to use cash, you have to go to a register. 9 times out of 10, they will have 15 registers and only one person is available at that register. They're trying to push us to use cards and get away from cash. This is very scary.
It's funny, right? Everybody there.
No, this is funny. Ouch. He said. Here's the joke. Hold on.
2 hours later.
The joke. Uncircumcised dudes be like, do you have a condom? Bitch, the stapler's right there.
Okay.
You get it? No, you don't.
I would like to talk about this a little bit more, but first I need people to actually go look it up so that you can also confirm that penny elimination is real, and then we can talk about it.
These the same people that be walking through pennies, all on the floor, just walking right past it. We don't care about pennies. We used to throw them away. There'll be a pack of them in your drawers. Open up the purse too. You see a whole bunch of them just sitting there. Now they're important.
Somebody walks into your gold and silver pawn shop with one of the last pennies ever made. How much are they getting for it?
I mean, people are throwing out $1 million numbers. I don't think
Oof.
it's going to be that much. I think they'll probably go for a couple $100,000 a piece. Coin collectors do go nuts, but there's a lot of other coins out there that think for $1 million that are a lot cooler. Sad to have to say it, but no, I mean, it's kind of makes sense that we're getting rid of it. I mean, like, I'm sure the nickel is the next thing to go because I think we're paying like 9 or 10 cents to make a nickel. So it's just when the government prints a lot of money, the smallest denominations go away first.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It's probably saving us money. And then we got him. Everybody here fighting for pennies. We got my man over here. Everybody fighting for pennies. Where's my penny at? Look at my man over here making a whole mural. Penny Lane. Oh, that looks pretty nice. I like that. That looks nice. $56 million.
3, 2, 1.
$56 million. Keep the penny.
3, 2, 1.
There goes the last penny being made.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to open this up, and if you want to grab the coin, you can. I'm going to do this kind of slowly so it doesn't fall off. It's right going to be right next to where you struck it. Right there. So it's actually going to be right there. When I fold it up again, there you go.
3, 2, 1. Given the rapid modernization of the American wallet, the Department of the Treasury and President Trump no longer believe the continued production of the penny is fiscally responsible or necessary to meet the demands of the American public. The cost savings of ending penny production will save the American taxpayer approximately $56 million a year in just production costs alone.
$56 million. Keep the penny.
Did we just find one of those $18,000 1982 pennies? Before you just flippantly spin that 1982 penny that's in
Oh, never mind. Don't keep the penny. Let me get that penny. Wait a minute.
your pocket, I'll show you what to look for. There's 4 requirements, and I'll show you what they are. First, it's got to be a 1982 penny. Then it's got to have the Denver Mint mark. There's 2 types of dates. There's called the large date and the small date. To see if it's a small date, you have to look at the 8 and the 2. See how the 8 has a smaller hole on the top than the bottom. And the 2 has a very distinctive shape with a longer tail. Here's a closer look at that small date. Look at the large date, which you don't want. You can see that both circles on the 8 are about the same size. And you can see that the 2 is a completely different shape. In order for this penny to be worth $18,000, it's got to be copper. Wait for it. Oh, what a disappointment. Zinc. Now that you know what to look for, you may be the one with this valuable penny in your pocket.
And we gotta look for the $18,000 penny. We gotta look for it. Because
I just experienced the most condescending cashier ever at Earl.
Oh, man. Another penny crash out.
Something and 38 cents, right? So I'm digging in my wallet. I'm getting exact change out, okay? She takes it from me. She looks at it. She said, oh, it's 40 cents. And I look back at the computer and I count it out and I says, that says 38. And I counted out my quarter, my dime, and my 3 pennies that make 38 cents. And I said, it's 38. That's exact change. She said, oh, well, they're getting rid of the penny. I said, I understand that, but I'm not paying you more. She said, I know it's confusing. Don't worry. And maybe I am confused, and maybe it's the lack of sleep from 2 kids who don't sleep through the night that's making me a little more frustrated. But why would I pay you more money? If anything, you can round it down if you don't want my 3 pennies. Because in that case, I'll give you 2 extra pennies to make it 40 cents. I'll give you even more pennies. You're gonna take my pennies. Is that the deal? Like I fully understand, and I have heard that they're not making any more pennies, right? But I didn't know that they weren't going to take our pennies. Is that what we're doing? It was condescending to say, I know it's the way she said it.
well, then we're gonna
I'm
take
not
the
dumb.
penny. You're not
Maybe
taking the
I'm
penny no more.
uninformed, but I'm not dumb, and I'm not gonna pay you more. I'm not gonna pay you 2 cents more. Take my pennies, or you can round it down if you don't want my pennies. Whew. Rant over, I guess. Bye.
So they're not gonna take the pennies. So they got my man over here. They don't want to take the pennies, but we got my man over here paying with just pennies. And then we got my man over here making a whole penny lane. We got penny sorters. And we got my man making penny lane. Well, you know what we gotta do, baby. We gotta look for the penny. You know which one, right? The 18,000. No, the $18,000 one.
Which is?
1982. You ain't learned? We got old man Jenkins here telling us about the penny situations. Come on, man. We gonna find this penny.